Good day and welcome back to Horsemanship 101 again. Today I want to talk about who needs the training. Is it the horse or the human? Well, personally, I think it's the human. Now, this guy here, he's not my horse. And today we tried something that I've never done before. I actually had him come up. I went and caught him and had him come up into the arena here at Liberty. No halter, no lead. And that wasn't because he knew how to do that. He'd never done that before. And, well, in fact, I've never done it with him. So it was a bit of an experiment for me to see whether or not I could do it. But was it up to his training or was it up to me? It was up to me. It wasn't up to the horse. And that's the thing about training. And one of my pet peeves is, I've heard the same statement a few times. And it drives me nuts, makes me cringe when I hear it, is he's not listening to the bit. I need to get a harsher bit. No, it's not the bit that he's not listening to you. It's you. It's the human he's not listening to. And that's where the training comes in. It's not so much about training the horse as it is training yourself to be able to communicate with the horse. Because that very same horse that they couldn't get him to listen to the bit, I didn't have a problem when I rode him. Now, and I'm not a master. I'm not some kind of horse whisperer, magician, anything like that. But I've learned enough about the horse to be able to communicate with it that I don't rely on props, tools, tack, whatever you want to call it. I mean, most of my stuff is pretty basic. I don't own a whole lot of stuff. One of my goals has always been to, try and work with a horse with nothing more than my bare hands. And, I do resort to, I have a rather inexpensive rope halter and a lead rope that I use. I have another rope, but it's not real expensive either. But I don't rely on gimmicks or tack or fancy stuff. You can spend an awful lot of money that way. Like the only thing that I own that is really... Well, I did spend a reasonable amount of money on my cinch because that's a safety issue. You want a good quality cinch. I'm not going to cheap out on that. I had a cheaper one, and it actually had a ring on the one end that was welded together, and the weld broke. And I thought, man, a good thing I wasn't riding it when that happened. So this one is actually a fairly good one. It cost me a bit, but, in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't a whole lot. I can't remember what I paid. I think it was somewhere in the neighborhood of about $70 or something, which, considering my life depends on that thing working, that's not a bad deal. That's made by Weaver, a pretty decent company in my opinion. I'm not trying to promote their products. It's one of the few things I own that's made by them, but I have over the years owned a few of their things, and it's worth buying. It's worth getting good stuff for certain things. The other thing that I didn't cheap out on, saddle pad. Now this is far from top end. I mean, you can spend hundreds of dollars on a saddle pad. This one I think was somewhere in the neighborhood of $80, but it's pure wool felt. You can get cheaper ones. Probably not worth buying. The saddle though, I just picked that one up used for a couple $100. No big deal. Fits the horse reasonably well, fits my backside. That's all that matters. It doesn't have to be fancy or expensive. A bridle, don't use one. My rope halter is what I ride in. And my reins, right here. So you don't have to spend a lot. You have to learn how to use what you got. You have to learn how to communicate with the horse. So who needs the training, the horse or the human? Personally, I think it's the human. Well, I've always said that, but experience over the years has taught me that definitely it's the human that's the problem, not the horse. Have a good day.